Hey, I'm Graham. I'm a bass player, and today I'm going to walk you through some of my basses and do kind of a tone demo comparison. So I've been kind of on a tone journey ever since I started playing bass when I was 13, and turns out I'm a P bass guy, so I have a lot of those. We're going to be running those today, and we're going to be playing along to Cissy Strut by the Meters. So, song everybody knows, really tight, funky bass line, pretty solid, definitely P bass territory. I'm a firm believer that P basses work for everything all the time. So when I'm not sitting in this chair, I play in a loud stoner doom psych band, desert rock band called Old World Astronaut, and I play a P bass there too most of the time. Our new record, I'm playing a P bass 100% of the time with round wounds on it with a pick. Probably about 90% of the time, and for me, that's the sound. That's always what I'm looking for. That's kind of the bass line, pun intended. I always tend to like and gravitate towards basses that have one pickup. So when I start getting a second one, I start kind of getting, I don't know, I guess indecision and never really quite satisfied with the sound. So one of the basses we're going to hear from today is actually a PJ. But that J rarely comes out. When it does come on, it does kind of this cool spectery thing, which is an awesome sound in its own right, but not always what I'm looking for, and especially when I'm playing in a mix, when I'm playing with other people or along two tracks. And this is kind of the main thing that I want to highlight with this video is the importance of listening to your tone in context. So a lot of people that I find, they pick up basses, they gravitate towards basses, they like the sound of when they're sitting down with it, maybe in a guitar center or a guitar shop or in a studio, and they grab this bass and they play it and they either like it or they don't like it based on what they hear coming out of the speaker. And I'm here to make the case that what you hear when you're playing the bass on its own is not that important. I think there's a few things that are more important. Obviously, number one is going to be how you sound in the context of what you're playing. Another really important piece is what the instrument looks like and do you like it? I think those are really key pieces when you're thinking about what kind of bass you want to play or any kind of instrument. Is you got to like it, because if you like it, you're going to pick it up. If you like it, you're going to play it differently. I don't know about you, I've definitely picked up instruments in guitar stores and started playing it and just didn't jive with it because I didn't really like the color, I didn't like the pick guard, I didn't like the kind of strings that were on it, I didn't like the name on the headstock. We hear a lot with our eyes. So today we want to instead hear with our ears. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to play Cissy Strut 7 times. What you'll hear is me switching between the different instruments, and I'm not going to tell you what they are till the very end if you even want to know. I want you to listen with your ears and not your eyes. And secondly, I want you to listen in the context of the mix, not the context of the instrument by itself. Because let's face it, for 99% of basses, bass is not a solo instrument, so how it sounds on its own, it actually doesn't matter. And if you don't believe this, go look on YouTube at isolated bass tracks. One of my favorites that really drives this point home is Stone Temple Pilots. There's a lot of great isolated bass tracks there, and the tone that you hear in the song and the tone that you hear in the track are completely different. And frankly, like the track audio is kind of gross. It's not something where someone would dial that in and say, yes, that's what I'm looking for. But in the mix, it's perfect. It's iconic. It's great bass playing, obviously. No need to say anything more about that. So let me introduce you to the 6 instruments that I'm going to be playing today. These are all out of my personal collection. The first instrument I'm going to talk about is one of my most recent acquisitions. This is a Squier Affinity P bass, and look at the neck on this thing. I don't know how somebody in Indonesia has a sense of humor. This has the most gorgeous 5A striped maple neck I've seen on just about any instrument. It's killer, and I bought it for the neck alone. Outside of this, it's pretty unremarkable. It also has an EMG Geezer pickup and electronics in it. That's what we've got going there. This one is strung up with Thomasick Infield Jazz Flats that have a lot of miles on them. These are great strings. The satin finish on the neck is primo. I have no idea where this neck came from. It's absolutely insane. It's better than any custom shop Fender neck I've ever put my hands on. I picked this bass up with the pickup in it for $260 off of Facebook Marketplace. Next one we're going to hear is also a Squier. This is my baby. I think this is actually my favorite bass, and it is a 2008 Squier Classic 5 in Sonic Blue. This is the first year ever of the Classic 5. These were made in China, and if you know, you know. When it comes to these basses, if you know, you know. And this bass also has an EMG geezer pickup in it. So this one and the other Squier both have EMG geezers. So we'll get to hear the difference between those two. This one also is rocking some Labella gold flats, which are very interesting. Not sure how I like them yet. I think I like them, but I'm not sure where they fit for me. I don't know that I would buy another set. I picked this bass up for $180 in a different country. It was incredible. I knew exactly what I was looking at. The previous owner had no idea just how special the instrument they had was. I told them, they were excited for me to get it, and here we are all these years later. Next bass we're going to talk about here is a parts bass, and what you'll see with kind of the remaining basses, we have a lot of kind of parts, things put together over time. The next one here is a 75 Fender P bass. It is rocking a Geddy Lee jazz bass neck on it. The pickups in this bass are from low end, and we have a PJ configuration, so that J was added a long time ago. We've got concentric volume and tone knobs on this thing. It's also got an ash body. The body alone weighs about 10 pounds. This is every bit of a 13-pound bass. It's awesome, but do not shy away from heavy instruments. Give them a shot. They're worth it. I originally purchased this as a loaded body and added my own neck. I've gone through a few necks on this thing, from a traditional 1.75 with rosewood down to this Geddy Lee, and you know what? The Geddy Lee suits it. This is my jazz bass in my collection. All in all, I have about $800 into this instrument. Next instrument we're going to look at here is a really special one. This is a 66-ish Mustang. There's a lot going on here. So it was refinished sometime, I'm guessing, in the early 70s. It also has a replacement neck on it from 71, and this thing's got mojo for days. Custom shop Seymour Duncan pickup in this guy. The strings on this Mustang are Labella deep talking flats, except no substitutes. This one's my shiny. So this is, it's got the shiny magic harp on it because I picked this up for $600 as it sits. It was mismarked as a Fender player, and so thank you Guitar Center for that one. Next bass we're going to look at is also a favorite of mine. I hunted down one of these for a long time, passed on a few that I really kicked myself for, and eventually found the right one. This is that bass. This is a Gibson Les Paul Jr. double cut tribute bass. I believe it's from about 2019. These are incredible. So we've got a little humbucker in here. It's kind of in that sweet spot Mustang P bass kind of position. Pop this thing open, it's got massive pull pieces like a Stingray. This is kind of an interesting setup here. It's a humbucker, and you pull the knob and you're in single coil mode. So you got a lot of different tones here. This is also a short scale, just like the Mustang, 30.5. This one's strung up with Dunlop stainless steel round wounds. Not only was this exactly the bass I was looking for, I was able to get it for a steal. I got this bass for $750 with the case. I feel extremely lucky. I know Gibson fire saled these when they discontinued them because nobody liked them. I think they were selling for maybe $5.99, something like that. Now it's pretty hard to find one for under $1,000. I feel very lucky. If you find one of these, spend some time on it, and if it at all fits the mojo and the vibe of how you play, get it. You will not be disappointed. The last bass we're going to talk about here is a wild card bass. This bass is a 2013 Ernie Ball Stingray 5. This one started its life as a double humbucker. It has been converted to a single, and I replaced the preamp in this. I replaced the Ernie Ball preamp with a preamp from John East, which replicates the original Stingray. I much prefer this sound, especially with these pickups. You can do anything from mild to wild, and it definitely does the Stingray thing. I feel very fortunate to own this bass. This bass was also a mismark on Guitar Center. I saw it while I was looking for Sterlings. It was mismarked as a Sterling Ray 4, and I got this bass for $300, guys. Check those ads. This one obviously is very different from everything else we're listening to today, and that's on purpose. We want to kind of contrast and show what an instrument like this sounds like in that kind of classic funk R&B stripped down mix, and does it work there? Let's find out. For the interface, I'm plugging right into a Scarlett that goes right into my MacBook and into Garage Band. So a little bit of light compression on the Garage Band end. I've normalized all the volumes to the best of my ability, just based on the speakers I have on hand and what kind of sounds right. Hopefully it sounds right to you, but try to get those levels about the same. Other than that, pretty straightforward. We're going along with a bassless track of Cissy Strut, so all you're gonna hear is me here. Let's get started. Yeah! Okay, so if you're a bassist, you're hearing a lot of different things. If you're not a bassist, you're hearing the same thing way too many times. Why do we do that? That's going to be probably the response of most people who will ever hear you play. That's fine. That doesn't matter. You got to be happy, because when you're happy, you're playing better. So I definitely know which ones I like, but what surprised me here is just how well everything works. Any one of these tracks is perfect on its own, and let that be a lesson as well. Simplicity is a good thing. All right, everyone, that's it for me. I had a ton of fun. I hope you did as well. Hopefully that was interesting. You know, there's a lot of bass YouTubers out there. I don't want to be one. I'm just a bass player, but I do want to share that message with people that how you sound in the mix is the most important thing, and how you like playing your instrument is probably the second most important thing. So play what you love what you play, and make sure you're always listening in context. That's what matters. And keep playing bass. Let me know if you want to see more stuff like this. Also, go out and learn Cissy Strut. It's a great song, classic R&B. You're going to learn a lot by learning songs like this, learning how to play, learning about feel, learning about dynamics, what you can do just with your hands alone. Keep it simple with that tone. And this is a great song to play for testing out instruments or gear. It's a whole lot better than trying to slap out higher ground in a Guitar Center. So check it out. Old school R&B. It's where it's at.